Hi, and welcome to Deepwell Archival Services. In today's brief 5-minute video, we're going to look at some of the recurring costs associated with managing diagnostic study data in a PACS environment. And we're going to pick on two of those costs. We're going to look at the recurring annual cost to manage storage, to manage the long-term data preservation and archive of your diagnostic studies, versus more of a fixed cost. And in this case, we're going to look at the PACS maintenance costs. Okay, and we're going to do that making some very conservative assumptions all the way around. Okay. And we're also going to do that in the light of as always, a real-world example. So let's look at a typical, in the size we're talking here, PACS procurement price. Let's talk $250,000. Okay, 15% of that is going to be for annual hardware and software maintenance. Okay, that gets you the revision upgrades, the phone and email tech support, the on-site tech hardware support. Basically, if something breaks, you've got a means to get it fixed. Okay, so $37.5 in annual maintenance. Now, in this case, we're doing 100,000 studies a year, 50 megabyte average study size, so about 5 terabytes of storage required per year. Replicate that for disaster recovery and business continuance to meet the HIPAA security rule. You're about 10 terabytes a year. Okay, we're going to make a very conservative assumption that that an end user imaging organization can manage that 50 meg diagnostic study for 25 cents. That makes the very foolish assumption, but again, conservative assumption that you can procure storage and no one has to manage it. Virtually no management fees in there in that 25 cents. So again, we wanted to be very conservative, just to point out the expanding and growing costs of storage of storage on an annual basis. And that's due to the long-term retention periods that are required. So let's look at, again, year one. Let's look at what's going on. You've got 100,000 studies year one, pay $37.5 in hardware and software maintenance for the PACS, $25,000, 25 cents per study, okay, for 100,000 studies. Year two, we got 200,000 in the archive. Well, 25 cents a study. Those costs to store that data don't go away, the year one data. Okay, it's cumulative. Those costs recur, so it's 50,000 year two. You can see where this is going. We jump up to year five. You got 500,000 studies in the archive. Cost you 25 cents to maintain those per study. Per 50 meg study to maintain those 500,000 studies. Cost you $125,000. Now that's in year five, okay, primarily due to the recurring costs associated with storage management. These costs recur year after year. So you put 25,000 year one, 50,000 year two. I mean, you can see what happens. This storage just grows out of control. It just consumes your budget and your system administration resources. Okay. So again, we go back to a model here where the PACS maintenance costs are staying fairly flat, and these storage costs again just grow exponentially. Okay. Now let's look at the Deepwell model. Okay. Now we take this seemingly uncontrollable PACS storage model and put it in a very compact, easy to manage, one-time fee for the life of that information. So year one, 100,000 studies. Okay, 25 cents a study. We paid 25,000. Year two. No, we got 200,000 in the archive. We've got to have some cumulative billing, right? No. We did 100,000 new studies. We charge you for that study data. One-time fee for the life of that information, 25 year two. Okay, let's jump up to year five in our case. 500,000 studies in the archive. Okay, you've got storage consuming, hardware, software, maintenance contracts, real estate costs for data center, system administration costs. You've got to have recurring costs, right? No. Okay, one-time fee for the life of the information. So even though we've got 500,000 studies in the archive, year five, we charge you that year $25,000 in fees, strictly for the new studies, okay? And we don't care if you store that information for 5, 10, 15, or 20 years, okay? So you can see the economies of scale. Now, we've made some very conservative assumptions. I mean, you can see this is the real typical architecture of a long-term archive and storage infrastructure. Again, these costs just escalate out of control and just consume resources, both capital and human resources. So, again, to wrap up, we wanted to give a comparison of a fixed static cost, hardware, software maintenance versus the growing cost of storage, just to put things in perspective. So, and we think we've made some very conservative and realistic assumptions along the way. We hope you found the video informative. We thank you for your interest in Deepwell Archival Services, and we sure look forward to seeing you on the next video presentation.